So I just did my first apostille as a notary, and the process went so smoothly. I couldn't believe how smooth everything went. Now, if you are thinking about adding this specialty to your notary business, then please stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly how I got into it and give you some basic information about what an apostille or apostille is, okay? It's Side Hustle Saturday, Side Hustle Saturday. Ooh, it's Saturday. Ooh, it's Saturday. It's Side Hustle Saturday. What's up out there to all of my fellow gold diggers? This is your girl Rita, also known as the self-proclaimed gold digger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss my life as a wife, mom, entrepreneur, and business owner, all while trying to crush and achieve my goals. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am so glad to have you. But if you are a fellow gold digger, welcome back. Y'all know I love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I am going to say thank you so much because this month, all of my gold diggers, and that is GOAL, have helped me to get to 1,000 subscribers. I really, truly appreciate y'all helping me to get to 1,000 subscribers, okay? So please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you are enjoying the content, I hope that you find the information helpful, okay? All right, so as I mentioned earlier, I just did my first apostille as a notary, and y'all, I'm definitely on the hunt to see how I can find more people who are in need of this type of service and start doing more of them in my business. Now, if you are new to notary or just new to apostilles in general, I'm going to give you some basic foundational information about the apostille because I find that if you know the basics, you are pretty much going to know how to do the apostille and be able to add it to your business. Okay, so first things first, I began my notary journey about a year ago. So I am still fairly new to this. I actually need to re-up and do like all of my certifications and stuff again. But I am leaning away from loan signings and I'm definitely enjoying general notary work a lot more. And I'm seeing how I can add the specialties such as apostille as well as being a wedding officiant, just because I'm finding that it is just so much profit that you can make in terms of adding these services. And side note, if you haven't seen my previous video that I recently did where I talk about how I feel like I make more money as a notary than I do working as a doctor because I'm also an optometrist, then please be sure to check that video out. Once you finish watching that, I think you will also find that to be very helpful if you are a notary or thinking about getting into becoming a notary. Okay, so like I said, I started probably a few months ago, started looking at how I can add additional streams of income to my notary business. One of them was through wedding officiant, and the other one was through apostille. Y'all, it just so happened I added the apostille to my Google business page, and literally, I want to say like within a few weeks of me adding that to it, that's when I got my first call and started this process of me getting the first apostille. But let's back up just a little bit so I can give you some of the basic information about what is an apostille. So basically, an apostille just validates documents that are needed for international use. So you are receiving a certificate that kind of authenticates the document. So when it goes overseas or goes to another country, they can recognize that it is legitimate or that it's been certified or verified in a certain type of way. Now, the types of documents that can be apostilled are numerous. It's just like the type of documents that need to be notarized. It could be anything. It could be like a business license. It could be a power of attorney. It could be a birth certificate. It could be a death certificate. You know, it can be an affidavit of saying that you are not married or whatever, especially if you're getting married overseas. So any document pretty much that could possibly be notarized also could be apostille, because basically, like I said, the foundation is just how the international company is verifying that this document has been authenticated and that it is validated. So an apostille is just showing It's just an extra layer of certification that is being applied to the document so that it can be used internationally. Okay, that's all it is. All right. Okay, so now there are two types of apostilles that can occur within the United States. An apostille can occur on the state level or it can occur on the federal level. So, documents that might need to be apostilled on the state level are things that come through the state, such as like a birth certificate, death certificate, marriage license, that kind of thing, or just general documents that need to be notarized, business I won't say business licenses, but like business formations and things like that. Because pretty much like if you have an LLC or something like that, that is usually created at a state level. And so those documents would need to go through the state level to be apostilled. Now, if it's something that is on a federal level, such as like a federal background check, so the FBI background check or something like that, that is on a federal level, and that is going to have to be apostilled through the federal department, which is in Washington, D.C. So just knowing, are your documents on a state level or a federal level will help you know how to get the appropriate apostille done. The other thing you want to consider when doing an apostille is what country is it going to, because is the country part of the Hague Convention or is it not part of the Hague Convention, because that will determine if there are extra steps that need to be taken. So if they are part of the Hague, that is just an agreement that the United States has with other countries, and it makes getting the apostille a little bit more smoothly. If they are not, then there are extra steps that you would have to take in order to get it apostilled. So those are the basics, and seriously, if you just know those basics and you can remember those basics, you can get most of your documents apostilled without any issues, okay, or whatever. So like I mentioned earlier, I added it to my Google business page a few weeks ago. A few weeks after doing so, I got a call regarding the apostille. Sorry, guys. My phone is going off because, yeah, I got a signing notification. But anyway, all right, so a few weeks after I added that to my Google business page, I got a phone call from someone asking about having their documents apostilled. So I told them, of course, I would be more than happy to do so. And that's what started the process. Now, it was some back and forth with me and the client, and it actually took over a month before the whole process was completed, because it was a signer, and then they also had a family member that needed to sign, and they were trying to get their schedules lined up. Like, we initially had decided upon a date, and then she was like she had to change it, and then she was like she needed to get back with me in a few weeks or whatever. So I initially thought that she had kind of like ghosted me and everything, because I didn't hear anything back from her, and I had reached out to her, didn't hear anything, and then finally, probably about a week or so ago, week and a half ago, she finally reached back out and was like, hey, I still need to get this done. So I don't know if she was possibly calling around and trying to see if she could get it done a little bit quicker or less expensive or whatever, because literally, like, we had something set up for the next day when she initially made that phone call, and then after that it was like crickets or whatever. And finally, when I told her, once we got everything done, she did admit to me that she had been calling around. I don't know if she did it before or after, but some of the prices that she was quoted were, I guess, out of her price range or whatever. And so she ended up settling upon me. And she also said that I was the one who just provided, I guess, the most helpful information too. So that made me feel good, especially since it was my first time, and it was just kind of like, random, like, I'm answering my phone, not expecting somebody to ask for apostille. Usually I'm getting phone calls for just like general notary work or whatever. So I was really, I won't say caught off guard, but I'm glad I was prepared in the moment to be able to accurately and adequately answer the questions that she had, and for me to ask the necessary questions that I needed. She just said that I was like the most easiest person to work with, especially when it came to like the interaction and like the steps that we needed to take in order to get the stuff done. So I was happy about that. So I hope that goes to show you, like, hey, And this was just like me knowing the basics and everything. I did take a class. I'll be honest with you though. I didn't even take really any notes in the class or anything like that. Because some of it was stuff that I had heard before. So it wasn't necessarily new information, but it was just reinforcing the information that I had heard before. So I'm glad the knowledge the knowledge sunk in and I was able to apply that knowledge, because something else I say quite often to my staff members or to my kids or whatever is it's not enough to have knowledge. You got to know how to apply it and everything too. So don't just go out there, get the information, just like as you're watching my video. Don't just get this information. Make sure you know how to be able to apply that information so when the time comes, you can act accordingly. So y'all, yeah, so everything went really smoothly with that. Got her necessary paperwork, notarized the documents that needed to be notarized, and I went to my Secretary of State's office because I wanted to see the whole process in action. Now, prior to this, when I first got that call like a month ago or whatever, I literally was like, I'm going to the Secretary of State's office so I can be ready to meet with this client and everything too. So I went to the Secretary of State's office, and it was, I won't say it was a wasted trip, but literally I could have did it over the phone or whatever, but I wanted to see like what it was like, what I was supposed to do, that kind of thing. So I get up there, they're very helpful. Y'all, my phone is just going off. They were very helpful there, and I did have some questions, but the person wasn't available to answer the questions or anything like that. So, but I asked like, how does the process go? They were like, you just, fill out your cover sheet, bring your documents in. I was like, do I need an appointment or anything? They were like, no. And I was like, well, how long would it take? And she was like, it'll take maybe 15 minutes or whatever. She was like, it just depends on how many people are ahead of you. So it was like just very nonchalant or whatever. So it wasn't, I was like, okay, like, because you watch some of these videos and you hear people talking about it, and yes, you don't want to mess up on documents or whatever, but they make it seem like this big scary process or whatever. And then I go to the Secretary of State's office and they're just like easy breezy, or whatever. So I'm like, okay. And when the moment did come for everything to happen and transact, it was very easy breezy. So they were pretty much like, when I got up there with the documents, they were like, how can I help you? I was like, I have some documents that need to be apostilled. They were like, did you fill out a cover sheet? Yes. And I said yes. And I was like, then they were like, do you have cash, check, or money order? And I was like, I have cash. And then they asked for my first name, told me to have a seat, and the person would be right with me. And that was it. So waited a few minutes for the person, because they were assisting someone else. The person calls me up, looks at my documents that need to be apostilled, asked me like one question about the documents just to get some clarification. And she was like, okay, that's, told me the price that it was going to be, paid the price. She was like, have a seat, I'll be right back. Comes back within a few minutes or whatever, and it's done. And I'm like, I was like so blown away. Like, this is it. Like, this is it. So of course, now I'm asking my questions and stuff of the person or whatever, because I'm dual commissioned and stuff. So I had some questions about, what if I sign, documents that need to go to, South Carolina and another state in Georgia, which is where I am or whatever. So I asked some clarifying questions, but that was pretty much it, y'all. That was pretty much it, the total interaction with it. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case for everyone or everybody's Secretary of State is going to operate in the same way, but that's how it was for me. Very straightforward and easy. So I hope this was helpful to someone. Let me know if you're thinking about doing apostilles in your business, because yeah, I haven't enjoyed my first experience and I'm ready to have another one. All right, take care everyone and enjoy the rest of your day.